I want to talk about 4 beliefs about health that I have, and I hope YouTube doesn't censor this video for misinformation. But it's a belief, and you're free to believe it or not, and feel free to comment. But among these 4 beliefs, I want you to leave a comment on which one you think is most likely to be true. My first belief is I don't think viruses make us ill. I think that we've done a number to our immune system with our modern lives. And it makes a great opportunity for viruses to hitch a ride on our bodies. Many years ago, I was a little bit of a player, and I messed around in terms of sex. And I wasn't concerned for myself until finally I had a girl who took advantage of me financially, and I almost dropped out of school. That was around the time that I realized life could go on without a girl, and so I quit dating for a number of months. And then I met a much more well-to-do girl who was also working on her PhD in a different department. And I had to confess to her that I needed to get tested before we did anything because I had messed around a little bit too much. And see, I wasn't concerned about myself. I knew that I could carry those viruses and probably not feel a thing. I was more worried about spreading it to other people. That's not dissimilar from how I handled COVID-19. I wasn't worried for myself. If it weren't for the fact that I had to work with a number of colleagues in their 60s and 70s, I'm a professor, I have a number of students who are disabled. If it weren't for that, I wouldn't be social distancing or wearing a mask. I would be all over the place messing around, right? Which is how I handled it when I went to Phoenix and I didn't have to come into contact with all those people, right? So my number one belief, I don't think bacteria, viruses, I don't think they make us ill. I think we create an environment where they allow viruses and bacteria to make us ill. And I like to think I'm living proof of that. I've gotten COVID-19 twice and didn't feel a thing. And that's good. Number 2, I think it is possible to stop eating altogether and not starve to death. I really do. I haven't found a way to do it yet, though. But I really believe one day I'll let go of food, and that will be that. I don't know how it's going to play out. I don't. But I could just see myself, because every time I fast 48, 72 hours, I am so happy-go-lucky. Nothing can bother me. I had an upsetting situation at work a while ago, and fortunately, I was 16 hours into fasting. It was so upsetting, I lost my appetite. I ended up going 40-some hours, if I remember correctly. Oh my god, the whole situation just completely evaporated after I got 40-some hours. The problem is, after I ate again, it was like the situation just re-solidified. It really did feel like that. I hate to talk about the exact situation because it's ongoing, but the idea was I could handle dealing with people, I could handle upsetting remarks, right? If I were Chris Rock the other day, or Will Smith the other day, and Chris Rock was saying what he was saying, and I was in a 48-hour fast, I would have probably handled that a whole lot better than if I had just eaten, right? So I really, really believe one day humans can stop eating. I just don't know how it will play out. But it will be a beautiful thing because, first of all, world hunger would disappear, and second of all, I think people would have a lot more time and energy to devote to more useful things, or we might find, well, certainly, it would be less common to begin with, but we might find a cure for cancer as well, right? Now that people have more time on their hands, they're not being intruded by intrusive food cravings. I really believe one day we will stop eating. I really believe that humans are meant to live forever, but we poison ourselves, we sin a lot, right? Especially with eating junk food, sugar, MSG, trans fats. I really think humans have the potential of living forever. And it really pains me to see somebody who was a 5-pack-a-day smoker and drank nonstop, and they lived to be 130. You have to wonder how long they would have lived if they had lived a lifestyle like me, right? And it's unfortunate to see because I think the longest living humans do a lot of that stuff. It really pains me to see, just think about just how long they would have lived, right? And don't tell me that you don't want to live that long. See, a lot of people have this misconception. Here's another misconception. A lot of people seem to think that living to 130 means that by the time you're 80, you're already on life support and you stay on it for 50 years, right? No, I want to be 80 years old when I'm 130. I want to slow down the aging process. That's how I want to live forever. I want to have my same body for the rest of my life, which might be forever, right? I can already see myself in 2084, there's a conjunction of the Earth with the Sun, but from the vantage point of Mars, I'll be 97 years old. I can already see myself flying to Mars, getting ready to look at that conjunction in the same body that I am in today. That's how I view it. I really think humans can stop aging altogether. Finally, and this is a big one, I think, so here in the Seattle area, we love to talk about the sexual minority, right? LGBTQ+, right? But I think the biggest sexual minority, and it might even be a majority, so maybe I shouldn't use the word minority, is solosexuals. I think 50% of humans are solosexual, and we allow ourselves to get suckered into unhappy relationships just to fit the mold of society, to our detriment, right? And that's why a lot of marriages end in divorce. That's why there's so much unhappiness, and that's why a lot of cities are so unaffordable, because our housing is built on the idea that two people are going to live in it, right? If more solosexuals actually came out of the closet, we would have more housing built for solosexuals, and it would be a whole lot more affordable, right? Anyways, 4 big misconceptions. Viruses don't make us ill. I think we don't need to eat. I think we can live forever and in our young bodies. And I think most people are solosexual and forcing themselves into unhappy relationships and being forced into unhappy relationships by the rest of society. Like if you agree with most of these. Leave a comment on which one you think is most likely to be true. Thanks for watching.